All right, it's 5:30. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. If everybody please stand. Vice Mayor Bear is going to say a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us. Lord, we pray for the weather that's coming in, that you protect the citizens of Mount Carmel, along with the employees that's keeping the roads clear, that all of us may be safe. We pray for the ones that's unsheltered, that you'll keep them warm during this period of time. Be with us as we go through this board meeting, that we may have the knowledge to conduct city business. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Alderman Sugar, if you're listening to the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everybody be seated. Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick.
Here.
Alderman Cross.
Here.
Alderman Shugart.
Here.
Alderman Benstock.
Here.
Alderman Gillum.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bear.
Here.
Mayor Gibson.
Here. All right, just want to appreciate everybody for coming out today. Got a little bit of business to get into, so we'll go ahead and get started here. Entertain a motion for approval correction of the minutes of the Board Mayor Alderman meeting dated December 18th, 2025, monthly financial report and department reports.
So stated.
Second.
Have a motion by Vice Mayor Bear, second by Alderman Sugar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Takes us to visitors' comments. Anybody want to speak? Go ahead and get started then. Item number A. Or no new business. Item number A. First reading ordinance 26-544 budget amendment. Tyler?
So this is ordinance 26-544 budget amendment regarding police department staffing. We're addressing a collective desire of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to staff and fund the police personnel.
Both have a price tag attached to them as spelled out in the document. Option one, be overburdened working shifts and have to work every waking moment. Option two adds 2 patrol days a week, 365 days a year. I say all that to say I can't snap my fingers and get 2 patrol cars here very quickly, but we have already begun the logistics side of all of those things. If you all move forward with this, on the second reading, we'll have all those logistics things done. However, we don't control all of those balls in the air. So I say all that to say I don't want you to think, by passing this on the 2 readings, we're immediately at 24/7 coverage again, because that will be a process. And we will manage that process appropriately and make sure that we professionally handle what we're supposed to handle. So I'm hopeful that you all were able to read over the options and consider them. If you have any other questions, I'm available to answer them. Yes, sir?
I'm just going to make a comment. Option 2 costs a lot more money, and we're not ready for 2 more supervisors and new cars. We're not ready for that. I don't think option 2 shouldn't even be in there. We should just go option 1. That's the way we should go, money-wise, and being smart about it. That's the way it should be. We've had this problem for quite some time. And about three weeks ago, I called you, and I called the chief, and I told you, I said, you're leaving these people out here in Mount Carmel without any protection at all. We pay for that, and we haven't had it for years. And I don't think it's a good idea to jump on option 2 and put all that money up right there right now. No. And I'll do it this way. I'll make a motion to go to option 1.
Have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Benstock. Further discussion on going with option 1.
So are we not worried about the burnout that our officers could face if we're pushing them to the max on their capabilities? That to me does not seem like we're creating a safe environment if our officers are exhausted.
and work to the max. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I tend to agree. I disagree with my august fellow alderman, Mr. Gillum. I think we need to go with the second option. I want to have coverage that isn't going to burn out our officers. I want an option where the officers are not so stressed that they might put themselves at unnecessary risk. We need these officers. I think the way the department has been developed so far is great. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah, I realize we're gonna have to pay for it, but
You're gonna be paying a lot for it.
and I'm happy to do so.
Well, I'm glad you are.
The option 2, it says vehicles, vehicles, fuel, and equipment, 154,000. That's just a one-time thing. I mean,
That's a one-time expense other than the maintenance and fuel and things like that. The bulk of that is a one-time expense. It'll depreciate over time. So we're not buying a new vehicle, every year, and that will be absorbed. What I do want to make sure that I stress to you though is option 1 or 2, we're spending fund balance, which is a fixed revenue, to do this before a budget cycle. In the budget cycle, we're going to have to sustain this. And you can't use one-time dollars to fund personnel costs or overtime or things like that are going to recur and cause long-term. So I offer that as a word of caution as we move forward.
The option 1, is that still 2 officers per shift too?
Correct.
And I found out yesterday there, I realized that our officers, when they're working, they can't go to court. And if they're off, they'll still be working sometimes because they're going to be going to court, and they're definitely going to be burned out if they're working all of this right here, and they got to go to court on their off days.
I'll let the chief speak to that, but the answer is if they're on duty, there's no mandate that they can't go to court.
Yeah, they still go to court if they're on duty. It just leaves us
Shorthanded
in the town.
For a short period of time, as opposed to a full shift.
But still,
And if it's daytime, the chief is here. So we're redundant in the fact that we still have 2 officers available for an immediate response.
how many officers do we have now?
5, 6, I'm sorry. 2 are still in the orientation process.
Yeah,
One is brand new.
Yeah, one finished training and he's still on probation, and the other one just started Monday.
If we go to option 2, how many more officers are we looking at?
2.
2 supervisors. That's what the paper says.
I guess if we go number 2, the 2 supervisors, you're probably looking for experienced officers.
Experienced officers, experienced supervisors.
And what's your time frame to do that if we do go to 2?
It depends on how fast we move here, and then we can get it advertised pretty quick after this is finalized. And then it's a selection process and going through the interview process.
Your opinion, what do you think?
Time-wise?
I mean, from 1 to 2, you're out there,
I think at the end of the day, option 1's gonna be more expensive because you're gonna pay the overtime, and then you're gonna have to eventually get officers anyway. So I would certainly go with option 2 if I was a voting member. I'm obviously the chief of police, so.
Yeah, but that's your department, and you know what you need there and what's best for your employees.
Well, yeah, and Jim just hit on it. I mean, if you do the overtime, you're gonna burn them out. They're gonna work nonstop. Not all of them wanna work, 7 days a week.
And having young officers might be too much on them too, or wouldn't it?
Well, you gotta remember they're police officers, but they're also fathers and husbands.
Yeah.
They have lives outside of Mount Carmel Police Department.
So just getting back into the scope of the motion we have on the floor, we've got a motion and a second for proceeding with option number 1. Is there any other discussion in regards to that motion? If not, then we need to clear that before we can do anything, proceed any other way. So roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick.
Just for,
Option 1.
Option 1.
no.
Alderman Cross.
no.
Alderman Sugar,
No.
Alderman Benstock,
No.
Alderman Gillum.
And you know what mine is.
You gotta say it.
Gotta
You
say
just
it.
say it.
Say it.
Option one.
Vice Mayor Bear,
No.
Mayor Gibson.
No. So that leaves us still with that on the table to proceed. If anybody else would like to make a motion in regards to that.
I move.
A motion by Alderman Benstock, assuming for option 2.
Second.
Second by Alderman Sugar. Any further discussion in regards to that motion?
I got a question on option two. Where are you gonna hire the supervisors at? Are you gonna hire within? Or are you going out here often?
We're gonna advertise in and out, but we'll see what we get as a pool and hire from that pool that we get.
So-
put in.
The people we got here, they just left out when it comes to the supervisor.
Well, unfortunately, I wish I had officers that had more experience, and I would hire from within, but right now, our senior officer has just over 2 years' experience with no supervisory experience.
Well, I think you probably have some quitting on option two. So if it does happen, remember, I told you so.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're gonna go in debt for that, and I don't agree with it. We got the money, yeah, we do, but there's rainy days down the road.
That's not the issue before you though. The issue before you is what option do you want to go with?
I already told you that.
I understand that, but the semantics of this are, those will be handled by administration of the city. That, I want to offer that up. That's not before.
Our options basically today are discussing, are we funding this option?
That I would like to mention is, this is 5 months before the new budget. I don't think it's the appropriate time to hire officers. I think we need to wait till the budget.
Don't start the funding process of it now, they're not able to start the hiring process until July 1. So then you're looking at July 1 being when he starts the hiring process to fulfilling training or whatever that might look like to onboard. We could be talking about September or later. That's a fair estimate, right?
That's fair.
And I don't want to see this continue to be drug out at this point. It may be July before he's able to fill the positions, get them on board, and be ready to go. I mean, what is it? Well, no, that's probably a little too far.
I feel we could probably get done
Beforehand?
before that.
We'll be moving quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the ideal time to do it now, the way I look at it.
So also in the options, that is the worst case scenario. That was if I hired somebody tomorrow in the 22 weeks or 11 pay periods that are left of this fiscal year. Every pay period that goes by, it reduces by that number. So the true cost could be up to that if I was able to hire somebody day one and roll it out. We will be expending dollars though for buying vehicles, outfitting vehicles, getting the radios installed, all of the things that are required for that. So I want to make sure that I stress that point, that we were cautious to make sure that we were on the high side of estimating, because there's 22 weeks left or 22 pay periods left in the year.
But also those costs, if we started the process now versus we started the process July 1, your capital expenditure purchases right now would essentially about be the same. They're still in the current bid. So I mean, you're going to have capital purchases whenever we do this regardless.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like, as some have stated, we've been without the 24, we've been relying on the county for the coverage at certain times for a long period of time, and I think that the standard our police department sets, we want to continue that 24/7 from our police department's aspect. So, I would support to go ahead and proceed with this now versus to delay it any further.
Chief,
Yes, sir.
if you hired somebody today, how long before, assuming successful the way through, how long before they're out on patrol?
Well, ideally, it's gonna be a much quicker than it would if you hire a patrol officer that you have to send through training, so.
No, assuming you have to send somebody through training.
Well, we won't. We're not gonna hire someone.
Okay.
It's gonna be someone with experience and be post-certified.
Okay, and how long would it take before?
Whatever the transition is, probably getting them from whatever department they're at to our department.
Okay.
I do have one question. Well, we are adding 2 officers there, and this animal control is part of the police department. I have to get calls sometimes about that. Is that something we may add later on, or are we pretty good right now without having that?
I'll leave that question to the chief.
First part of that.
So that's
Animal
actually,
control.
that's actually, that's a little outside the scope really.
Well, it's still part of the department.
I agree, but it's outside the scope of the motion of what we're talking about. That's something we could visit at a later time.
But if we're adding all these officers now, I'd just like to know, is it going to add part-time later on by animal control?
Go ahead, chief.
I haven't entertained that idea yet, no.
So I don't know, you ever got very many calls or not?
We've been fine since
Okay.
Fred took off.
And our officers are actually handling the animal control calls, so it gives us coverage 24/7 when you're getting somebody that says, oh, well, we don't have an officer to cover or whatever, so.
I just wanted to throw it out there so people say that we didn't ask, we didn't talk about it.
We work very closely with the Humane Society, and they've been fantastic, and if we have issues where we've taken dogs to them and they've come out and picked dogs up.
Okay.
I call for the question.
Question's being called. Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Sugar,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Nope.
Vice Mayor Bear,
No.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries in first reading. Moving on to item B, discussion and consideration resolution 26-666, opposing cost share proposal from HCECD.
Sorry about that.
Rolling things.
And tell if you would proceed on that one. Or, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I've been representing us at these meetings. So in our workshop, we talked about this. It was explained what the county's emergency communications department or district is wanting to do. I got fairly clear direction in the workshop that you all wanted to go forward with the resolution, and I think we've done this before back in 95. Thank you. So I say all that to say there are some concerns that I have from the professional end of this. I think that the communications district is an effective means, being a regional process, but I think their funding mechanism and the fact that they unilaterally decided to spend more than they had in revenue over the last 2 years, that has snowballed from about $400,000 in year one to 500 and something thousand and projected out to be over 6 next year, creates a problem. So I say all that to say, we all have to live within our budgets. I mentioned things and we talked about it at the workshop, but the bottom line is that this resolution, while it has no teeth, it goes everywhere it needs to go. There is a funding mechanism provided by the state of Tennessee, i.e. your 911 surcharges that you pay, and there's some dispute about that between the emergency communications district and the users on this end of the dispatching services. And their feeling is that the only thing that should be funded is 911 call taking. Well, you can't just answer a 911 call and then drop it. It has to be transferred somewhere. If they go for another year in a deficit budget situation, they can be taken over by the 911 board for the state, and they will refine their workload, and we may lose dispatch services. So we aren't in a position to be able to do our own dispatch in Mount Carmel. So I say all that to say, going on the record, the county's guidance and direction, the executive director for the 911 emergency communication district. Town of Mount Carmel residents pay 61% more to Hawkins County than they pay to the town of Mount Carmel appearance. And The difficult part of that is residents by our tax rate. I don't know that you can get the same at the county level. And that's it in a nutshell for me. And if you'd like, I can read the resolution if you'd like me to.
I do love it.
I think we've got everybody, or we can provide a copy to the press if needed, and we don't need to read through 2 pages of that. Let's first get on the motion, or get on the floor to discuss further. Entertain a motion to approve this.
Make a motion.
Have a motion from Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. Floor is open for discussion on that. Do we have questions in regards to that? I know we kind of discussed it at length at the workshop. Does anybody have any further questions, comments, discussion?
So what's the cost that Mount Carmel would be looking at again?
So I offered an alternative to what they proposed. They had proposed several different options. One of their options that they chose was population-based. Well, population doesn't necessarily drive dispatching needs or services. The other thing is, I feel like the numbers are being pushed up because not all of these calls are 911 calls.
Correct.
They're generated by a police officer sitting at an MDT initiating a traffic stop or something like that. So they're not receiving a 911 call to do that, but they do dispatch and they do deal with that. So I say all that to say, I proposed they're trying to fund their entire operation with what they did. I suggested that they fund their deficit with what they did. So I adjusted the numbers for the deficit and all of those things, and make a long story short, then they said, well, we're not doing anything to put back into fund balance. Yeah, I got that. I got that when you spent down your fund balance, not taking care of replenishing it. So I offered options of, you come up with what it looks like for the projected deficit next year, plus 10, 15, or 20% going towards fund balance. So I just got those numbers today at about 1 o'clock, 1:15. So I think the number, I made a copy of it so I would know this, sorry. This phone's going off. The original for us was about $130,000 with their proposal of the option they chose. With the adjusted, it goes anywhere from $111,000 to $118,000 in the proposal.
And that
For something we pay nothing for right now.
But that number would fluctuate every year, correct? Because like there's not.
The answer is yes, I believe it would.
There's not a fixed cap on that.
No.
So the other thing that I asked was, their proposal was for all of the participating agencies that pay in would have a seat on the advisory committee for the board. And I said, that's not going to fly. So I said, if you've got agencies that you want to participate in this, I want to have a voice in what happens when you're deciding to overspend your budget again. I don't want to just be an advisory member, I want to be a board member, or I want to have representation from the town. There's specific rules by the legislature, like elected officials can't be on the board or whatever. The mayor is a ex officio on there. He doesn't have a voting right or whatever. But the others that are appointed or on there do have voting rights. So I say all that to say, they appeared amenable to that.
So the 130,000 that we could be possibly looking at, that's on the hope that the county raises their contribution.
Correct.
And if
the
the county
county's about
doesn't?
doubling theirs,
Well,
right?
It's close, but not.
I apologize, the fire chief and I
but
went
that has to
over
pass
on
the
these.
vote up
It's
there.
close.
So
Correct.
if it doesn't pass the vote, then we're over 130,000.
Well,
That's
no,
not the way we was put to us. We
Yeah.
were told they would
they wouldn't dispatch for the
dispatch
county.
for us, they wouldn't dispatch for the county if the county didn't fund that. That's the way their board put it to us.
But the answer is, you're absolutely right that the deficit is still gonna be the deficit, and the following year, they would wanna come to us and say, we have to make up a deficit, therefore, your 130 just went to 360 type of thing.
Right.
And that's my problem with all of this, is all of these decisions were made unilaterally without anybody on this board or any of our residents really having a voice. Apparently we did have a member of the town staff that served on the board in the past, a former police chief. I don't know what ever happened there, but you know, they wanted to use that as an excuse. Well, y'all endorsed it. No.
But at that time, Mayor DeWitt could have easily, or whoever was mayor at the time, could have put someone other than the Rogersville Police Department on there who's not paying for dispatch. Okay.
So I'm gonna actually pass the chair to the vice mayor, because I'd like to make a motion for an amendment on this.
Okay.
To add at the very end of item number 1, be it further resolved, to add item number 2, a copy of this resolution will also be sent to the Hawkins County Mayor and County Commissioners.
You said that the county's gonna be paying too. We're gonna be paying 3 times as much, won't we? We're already paid. The
Second.
county already pays for it.
So you're
Yeah, if we pay 100-some thousand, and then if the county puts in, we pay taxes there too. We're paying 3 times.
At the end, be it further resolved, item 1, so this is going to be item of Commissioners.
We have a motion on the floor by Mayor Gibson, second by Vice Mayor, or second by Mindy Sugar. Roll call vote, please.
We can do all favor on
All in favor? All in favor?
that.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. So that'll return us back to the original motion as amended. Do we have any further discussion on that? Let's do a roll call vote on that, please.
Alderman Patrick,
No.
Alderman Cross,
No.
Alderman Sugar,
Yes. Y'all want to pay the EDC?
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
No.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Is that,
4-3.
so that motion carries. And that's in regards of opposing paying that. We don't want to pay that.
Oh, no.
No, we don't want to pay it.
That's the.
Well, y'all
vote
voted it.
Yes.
Oh.
But y'all voted in favor of paying it.
No, y'all were saying don't send this letter. That's what
Yeah.
y'all were.
I thought it was, no, we don't want it. That's what I thought.
You need a correction? So they want
Can we
to,
move it to correction?
how can we?
Probably a motion to reconsider.
No, yeah, that's it. That's right. That's how we would do that. So they voted against it. So I would need a motion from Alderman Patrick across to a motion to reconsider.
A motion to reconsider.
And then a second,
Second.
and then all in favor?
Aye.
So now we're back to the original motion, opposing the cost share, it's opposing paying the county, or paying the E911 tax as amended. And let's do the roll call again, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Okay, make sure this is for not paying, right?
Yes is sending this saying we oppose paying it.
And say yes is,
Opposing.
Yes is
Okay.
opposing paying and
Okay,
and
yes.
endorsing the resolution.
yeah, yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Sugar,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yep.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Abstain. Motion carries. It's going to take us into item number here. C, capitalization policy. Discussion, consideration, resolution 26667, capitalization policy.
So the town currently follows an established accounting practice for capitalization. It's usually $5,000 or greater for capitalizing an asset. We don't have that anywhere written in a policy, and we've been advised that it would be best for us to do that. So we're taking that advice and presenting to you a formal capitalization policy. We're not changing any practices, but we're memorializing those procedures that are already in use.
Entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Benstock, second by Alderman Sugar. Any further discussion? One question I do have, this is just continued like audit compliance type stuff of having stated written past policies of procedures?
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussions or questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Okay, I just started my hearing aids up, make sure I can hear now. What was it again?
this is a vote on the capitalization policy stating that we're going to formally adopt rules for capitalization. Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Sugar,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. Takes to item number D, discussion and consideration resolution 26-668 debt management policy.
This is a very similar resolution and policy for debt management. Another thing that we revise is a best practice to have in place, and we are taking that advice to formally recognize a policy, just stating how we would handle taking out debt if it became a situation where we would need to do that.
And what is your current procedure for that?
So we have to get approval and oversight from the State of Tennessee Comptroller's Division, Local Government Finance, and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. And then it talks about different types of debt, how much we're allowed to have, those types of things. And then refinancing and those things, and defines conflicts of interest. So we are limiting our total debt to no more than 20% of the value of the properties in Mount Carmel. And that's standard procedure.
Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. Any further discussion on that? And again, that's just policy, not actually taking on any debt. Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Sugar,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Moving to discussion, item E, discussion and consideration resolution 26-669 virtual meeting attendance. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. Floor is open for discussion. Tyler, if you want to just go over that.
Sure. So this resolution formally adopts a policy pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated authorizing members to participate in meetings electronically under limited, well-defined circumstances. These include a family or medical emergency, military service, or dangerous weather. The member must notify the town recorder of his or her absence by 5 p.m. the day prior to the meeting, and a majority of the members of the board must still be present at the meeting. Only 2 members may participate electronically, and the board members can use electronic attendance no more than 2 times per year.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on that?
I got a question on
Go ahead.
it. Does this include everybody, all the board members? Because there's 2 of us who run a different plan.
It would include, but you'd be treated like you were here. So that's saying that up to 2 times a year under certain circumstances, if you had to participate electronically, you would be counted as present and here, and just no different if you were in the room. So if you were having a medical emergency, or a family member had an emergency, you could still Skype in with your iPad and still be counted as present, just like you were here. You would be in front of me, basically confirming it's actually you that I'm talking to, and then you would be on speaker running in the meeting just like you were present in the meeting.
I just don't agree with that, because for some reason you don't have a computer or you can't get to one, you're accepting money without doing the work.
No, you
We all
wouldn't
have
be
those.
then. You would have to do that too. Like you would have to be able to zoom in order to be counted present. If you weren't present, then you wouldn't
be paid.
You wouldn't get paid for it, which that would be mute once the next election cycle rolls around. It just goes to the straight stipend for everybody. So that would be mute at that point.
And everybody has a tablet available to them.
Right. Roll call, or I'm sorry, any other discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
Yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Schubert,
Yep.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
No.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. Goes into item number F, discussion and consideration, acceptance of bid for LPRF Park Bathroom Pavilion construction. Entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
So I have a motion by Alderman Schugert, second by Alderman Benstock. I'm assuming that's the low bid.
Yes.
To accept the low bid on that. So the floor is open for discussion. Tyler, if you'd like to go over.
Sure. So I laid out some options in the memorandum. Those numbers have changed in our favor since I prepared the memorandum, so I'll go over the basics with you. And I added an additional sheet under your packets that you'll see is printed on color at the top. These are the numbers that I want you to look at. So we received 3 bids for the project. The low bid came in at $372,000. Our budget available was $340,000. So we started talking about ways to come up with the difference. One option is to apply for additional funding from the state. We can apply for up to $20,000 from the state. So we're going to approach that and see if that's possible. It is a 50-50 split, so we do have to split that. But we negotiated the contract for the construction down to $354,800, which I've highlighted on your paper. It leaves us with $14,800 out-of-pocket cost over what we had available in the grant. If we apply for additional funding from the state, that leaves us with $7,400. The state will pay this other $7,400, assuming they approve the request. Worst case scenario, we have to pay the $14,800. But this gets us a very nice bathroom facility, very nice pavilion, and the things we were able to cut out were actually items, it was basically choosing one product over another. Jason and I talked about it at length, and we're comfortable with making those determinations, and one item was not even needed at all, and we were able to save money there. So I feel pretty comfortable going forward with that bid, and the contractor is based in Johnson City.
That's good.
And this was for an LPRF grant that the previous board, when it was sat, received. So that's been something we've carried over for a couple of years.
2023.
23.
This is on year 3.
So this is, what's the timeline on that estimated completion if we were to pass this and get started?
Once the construction starts, I believe it's a 180-day timeline.
Wow.
So is it 6
Right about
months?
summertime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be good.
Will,
We've been talking about this for years. Do you do this? I mean,
yeah, no, absolutely. It's, and that's where, as we've had the additional staff and different things, it's allowed us to proceed with executing some of these grants that we've had sitting around, because there'll actually be more when we include, this will include the powered changing table at the park for the adult that we received from the Tennessee Department of Disability.
Yes.
So we received a 100% reimbursable grant there for the park, for the changing tables. That will get added into the bathroom plan, so we'll get reimbursed 100% for that. So this project will just allow us to kind of check some of the things that we've had sitting around and look for future opportunities with the LPRF and the state. Do we have any further discussion? One other question, when would construction begin on it if we pass that? Do we know a timeline of that?
Once we award a contract, I assume it would be fairly quickly, but I will be aggressive with them to go ahead and get it started.
Sweet.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Patrick,
yes.
Alderman Cross,
Yes.
Alderman Schubert,
Yes.
Alderman Benstock,
Yes.
Alderman Gillum,
Yep.
Vice Mayor Bear,
Yes.
Mayor Gibson.
Yes. Motion carries. We're just item number G, discussion and consideration of a county candidate forum.
This was an item brought by one of your aldermen, so I told him that the best place to have that discussion is at this board. I'll kind of do a lead in if you don't mind.
Okay.
So generally, towns, counties do not get involved in candidate forums. There's usually nonpartisan groups that will host them and do that. We could certainly host it here, and if that's what you want to do, but I would suggest that we not be the authorities having jurisdiction to kind of run it, if that makes sense. So that was the only caveat I wanted to make, so it keeps everybody nonpartisan in that dramatic thing. And the conversation came up because of county elections and the folks running and what benefit Mount Carmel will get from that.
What we're talking about is 911 stuff, or I thought maybe we can communicate with them one-on-one. Instead of hearing rumors, what somebody's saying, we can talk face to face, how we can work together and all that stuff, and before they get elected. So we're not forgotten about it. So it's always about the lower end instead of top end here. And if we can communicate with them and have a better partnership with them, and they kind of know us a little bit and we kind of know them. And I know there are a lot of questions that I would like to ask, just how we could work together better and what they do to help us. And because we was hard to speak for the citizens of Mount Carmel. That's what we do. We speak for them, and I just thought maybe we could do something like that. And I didn't know if it was legal or not, but just an idea. I thought with all this 911 stuff going on, we can try to work together.
I found nothing in TCA. The attorney's here, he may be able to speak to it better. I found nothing in TCA that prohibits you from doing it, but I think business practice wise, it's not a good idea. And
the prohibition, it would be to actively engage in someone's campaign. You wouldn't want to be in a posture of being observed or perceived as supporting a particular candidate. But as the city manager has said, it's probably a valuable thing for the citizens to have an opportunity to hear what candidates have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be something like the senior citizen center upstairs could?
That'd be the logical.
They did the last time at the library.
League of Women Voters, I mean, and they actually have more room up there to be able to host that. So talk about nonpartisan though, League of Women Voters has been my experience in other places. They've run pretty good ones. The other part of that is like what you ask one candidate, you should ask all candidates if you're facilitating that process and having those conversations. Being Mount Carmel centric, every person should get asked the same question about that if they're a countywide process.
Well, I would very much support what you said about not being the host.
Correct.
But providing the facility.
A facility.
Could be like a town hall, I guess. We offer have somebody.
I would not do that.
Okay.
I would make it a candidate forum, and quite honestly, I may even push it to a church or something like that as a larger venue.
But our church and state supposed to be separate.
Well, they rent their halls all the time for things, so it's not, as long as you're not making it a religious ceremony or something, then I think you're fine. But and I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving legal advice, but I think that you're in a good way to be able to host it in those settings too, because you have so many different candidates, so how many people come out for each candidate and that kind of thing. And the other thing, back to what the attorney said, is you can't endorse nor assassinate the candidate.
I understand that.
You know what I mean with attacks. So that's the other part of that, is it needs to be. That's why somebody else hosts it and keeps it level in a way, instead of it looking like it's a biased process.
I just want them to know we're up here too. We're not going to forget about us, because this is basically just as important as they are.
I'm pretty sure they know they're not going to forget about us with the resolution we're about to send to them. So
That's right. Put a stamp on it.
So,
I just got a feeling a lot of citizens would have stuff to say, like to ask, and how they can do help us up here.
do we have anything actionable on that? I don't think so for right now. Anybody motion to make or anything on that?
The qualifying period isn't over till February 19th, so I would suggest you wait until at least the qualifying period ends, so you know how many candidates there are for the, and
Like I said,
he spoke of the county mayor and the sheriff specifically positions for,
I just want to throw it out and see what we could do there.
okay.
All right, so we'll move on then. Board comments. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Appreciate Public Works for what they're doing to keep roads and stuff clear with this upcoming storm. Hope everybody stays safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for the workshop. Vice Mayor?
With my no vote on the budget amendment, it's not me saying that I'm against the police department, but by no means, chief. I just think it's the wrong time in this point to go forward with that. I think we should wait until the budget year. So, no harsh things against the police department. Y'all have my full support. It's just, I don't think it's the correct time.
I'm with you.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you. Alderman Patrick?
No.
Alderman Cross? Alderman Sugar?
No.
Alderman Benstock?
Everybody have a safe weekend.
Alderman Gillum?
I hope everybody gets 2 feet of snow at least.
Yeah, I want to split them.
So I have one
Because I ain't
thing.
getting my tractor up.
The issue with the police department was of urgency that the alderman that I spoke with talked about holding a special meeting to go for the second reading. If that's a desire of the board, we're positioned to be able to make that happen, but that's up to you all. So if you want to weigh in and give direction there.
What would be the timeline, and would you all be ready to proceed with that?
We'll be ready to proceed next Thursday, January 29th.
Your special meeting tomorrow.
We can't.
Can't
You
do
can't do
that.
that
It
fast.
gives us enough
The
time to
earliest
notice
date we
appropriate.
can do it is next Thursday.
Does anybody, so options would be we can do a meet next Thursday and proceed. We can wait till February and proceed then. Does anybody want to make a motion to
I make a motion for next week.
have a
I
motion?
second it.
Have a motion from Alderman Sugar to proceed with a special call meeting next Thursday for that one item. Second by Alderman Benstock. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. So we'll have a special call meeting next Thursday for that budget item.
Cool.
Is that all we have?
Yes, that's all I had.
Tyler?
Other than please stay home if you don't have to be out over the weekend, tomorrow, make good choices. The fact that this storm is unknown what's going to be, keeping people in safety would be better. So if you have no reason to be out, please don't be out.
Well, how does a Florida guy like snow?
I'm fine with it. It's no different than a hurricane, but we had people go out in the middle of hurricanes too, so.
Somebody will sit there 4x4.
Tyler, you have anything?
Nope.
Mr. May?
No, I have nothing.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Sugar, second by Alderman Benstock. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll see y'all later.